Okay, our last step is to chamfer the edges of this cube so that you get those slants in the corners and on the edges, and presentation. So let's go ahead and chamfer, and chamfer will make a kind of a slanted cut through the corner of things. Our distance here is going to be 0.2. So go ahead and put 0.2. And edges you're going to select. And we're going to basically chamfer all the edges of these corner pieces, and this edge of this piece. We're going to leave these edges alone. So this is what chamfering does. You're going to click and you're going to see it cut in here. And the first thing I like to split it into parts. I'm going to do this whole face here, and then I'm going to move on to the next, and I'm going to do 3 faces in one chamfer, and then I'm going to make a second chamfer for the other face. So now this whole outer face has been chamfered. Now I'm going to work on these inner parts. And you only want to hit the upper edges, not the lower edges. So make sure that you get the ones that are farthest out. We don't want to chamfer these bottom edges down here. We only want to chamfer these outer edges. But on this one, on these little boxes, we only want to chamfer the outside edge. But on these corner ones, we're going to do all the edges. And so go ahead and hit these. And you want to make sure that you are very careful what you chamfer here, because if you make a mistake, at least I don't know any other way except canceling and starting over, because you can't really subtract an edge that you selected. You're just going to stick with it. And so make sure that you're very deliberate on what edges you're going to select, because sometimes things will light up, like right here this edge is lighting up, but I don't want to click on that edge. This is a hidden edge. It's an edge on the other side of the cube, because you can actually select edges like through the cube. So make sure that you're selecting the edges that you want to select. Okay, so this side is completely finished. I'm going to go back to home view. I'm going to do all the sides that I can see from home view. So I'm going to do this top side and this side, and then I'm going to apply the chamfer. And then I'm going to do the last 3 edges on a separate chamfer. So I'm just going to go to my top view really quick, and I'm going to do all these edges now. And then I'm going to do these inner edges. Remember, on these little ones, we're only chamfering the outer edge, not any of these edges right here. But on the corner ones, we're going to chamfer all these edges. And just be patient. It might take a moment for the chamfer to actually show up. The more you chamfer, or the more you select under one chamfer command, the slower it's going to go, because it's keeping track of all the stuff that we've done already. So just make sure that you don't click until the line that you want is highlighted. Okay, so this edge is now finished. I'm going to go back to my home view, and then I'm going to go to the right. So both of these edges are already done, so I just need to complete them on this side. And then I'm going to do all my corner pieces now. Okay, so now those 3 sides are finished. I'm just going to hit apply here. This may take a few moments, but there you go. It's been chamfered, and now we have chamfer 1. We can just keep this window open and chamfer the other edges. The reason that I hit apply was because if you do 3 faces, then the other 3 faces won't take as long to compute. So now I'm going to do the remaining faces. So I'm going to do my left face, and I'm going to start clicking. I can just keep 0.2 up there, and I'm going to get all these edges now. Again, make sure that you're careful which edges you're chamfering here. And this side looks fine. Now we're going to do the bottom. The bottom is almost all the edges are already chamfered. We just need these three because I can see that these are already done. And then we're going to go ahead and click on these corners again. And it looks like that one's done. Now the last one we need is this back, I believe. Yes, the back edge. All the edges are done on the back. Now we just need to do the corners, and then we'll be complete with the chamfer. All depends. Okay, the chamfering is now all set. I've done all of my edges. The last three edges are now complete. And if you make a mistake, start over, because if you click the wrong thing, like let's say I clicked this line right here, it would basically ruin everything. All this stuff would go away, and then you'd have to start over. I don't know any undo command while you're in the middle of chamfering multiple edges. There may be one, but I don't know what it is, and so I would just make sure that you click deliberately on every edge that you want. But once all the corners, all the edges are done and all the corner pieces have been done, and these ones only the sides have been done, click apply. And there you have it. You got your companion cube, and it's all complete. Now, presentation. We're going to go to Environments and Inventor Studio, this little teapot. And I'm going to go to Render Image. And under Render Image, we're going to change some settings, but first I want to zoom in on this. So I'm going to zoom this cube so that the corners just barely go out of the screen here, so that they just get sliced off. That way this is going to be zoomed in quite a bit. And I'm going to make this 800 by 600. You can also type these in. And current view is fine, current background and shaded, but under lighting style, I'm going to choose this one called Pleasant. So choose Pleasant as your light. And then I'm going to go to Output, and I'm going to choose highest anti-aliasing right here. And now I'm going to click Render. So this will render out. And the lighting style will be pretty close to our original that we were looking at. This is the original we were looking at. And this lighting style, I think, shows the colors pretty well. Alright, and then you're going to hit Save up here in the corner, this little disc, and save it in your project folder. Change the type here to JPEG, and then name it period underscore all that jazz, the way that we always save things, and then hit save. Make sure that you choose JPEG and make sure you name it correctly. And then once you've rendered this one, you're going to close this up and go to the front view, and I'm going to zoom in on this so that the edges just barely go out, and then I'm going to hit render again. What we're going for with the edges barely going out is basically getting this thing zoomed in as much as possible with a little bit of white space on the tops and the bottom. See, if I look at this entire image, I can see the entire piece. I just want to make sure that it's zoomed in as far as possible without going outside of the image. Go ahead and click save again. Make sure you choose JPEG again. Save this one, period underscore all that jazz. Both of these things are going to be called Companion Cube, but this one will be called Companion Cube 2. So name the first one Companion Cube and the second one Companion Cube 2, and then you're going to put both of these into Photoshop and turn them in as one big JPEG.